Let's tag some folks. Guest request. Uh-oh. Tag friends. Oh, here comes Pearl. I'm going to show y'all something real quick. Let me tag a few people. And there's some people that have asked to be tagged that for some reason are not coming up. But what I want to talk about briefly this morning is letting go in each and every moment, and some practical examples of how I let go. And you can take them and make them your own, you know what I'm saying? But let's see if Pearl, hang on, I'll show y'all what I got going here. Hey Pearl. It's our chickens. No, I don't want you pecking at me. You're not gonna pet me, are you? No. Pearl's been laying eggs for us. And I know there's probably people working, and if you go back and watch this, I believe it'll help you. It'll bless you. Because it's very simple. And I believe we have complicated things like we like to do, right? Well, I say I. When I say I mean our intellect. You know, it is a master at creating the illusion of a problem through comparison, and then in turn creating. So if the problem is an illusion, then the solution is also an illusion, right? Yeah. So then it turns around and it creates the illusion of. There we go. Good morning, everyone. It creates the illusion of a solution for the illusion of the problem that it created. And really what's happening is, good morning, everyone. Let me see who's on here. Good morning, Fred. Elizabeth, good morning. Thank you so much for our wedding gift, our bracelet. We love them. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, everyone. If you don't like saying good morning, good day. Grand Rising. So right now, I'm perfect. We could say I'm the perfect image of our divine being. The one and only being, our being. The oh great one. God, the universe. Self with a capital S. But I don't even want to separate those, right? Good morning, Tammy. Or you can say Grand Rising. I like that too. Grand Rising. And let me turn this around and show y'all something real quick though. Where'd you go? There she is over there. It gets a little messy back here because we got a bunch of kids. And hey, Pearl. It's Pearl. And that's Betty. Betty's. There's Ethel. She wanted to get in the camera. I just saw an orb fly by, and I'm not sure where Lucy is. Lucy. Anyway, she was just over here. Is Lucy laying? All right. Anyway, they're starting to. Pearl's starting to give us some eggs, and I'm thinking Lucy, when they go missing and hiding, they're laying an egg. And they like to lay back in the shed in the back, but it's very active back here. We're getting a lot of birds that are migrating, that are coming through, staying in our trees. And the air's real cool this morning, and I love it when it gets to be this weather because it reminds me of football season and rugby season. And for us here, and things that I love to play, and just had some great experiences through all that. But there's no real attachment emotionally to some of those things, and there is some attachment emotionally to some of them. And that's what we want to detach from. It's not like once the memory is transmuted that you lose the memory or it just goes away, but the attachment, what we're tethered to there, that has been moving us like the wind, that attachment is severed. It goes away. The emotional attachment to it just goes away, and it no longer moves you as it did, one way or the other, right? So letting go moment by moment, and we can let go of thought. So we take things like, it's recorded, Jesus said, take no thought for your life. You go, well, how the hell am I going to do that? Take no thought. Take no thought. Well, when we're thinking, let's say I've got a job going on or a possible job going on, and I start to think about that job, and I start to weigh and measure that job, and I start to try to figure that job out on paper. What I'm doing there is I'm comparing everything on that job to every past job that I've done before. It's a comparison. So thinking, taking thought. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, everyone. Kathy. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I thought I saw Brandon on there. Good morning. Tender and a heart. Good morning. Love all y'all. And if you watch this later, I love you too. And if you don't watch this, I love you too. So, as I'm thinking about things, weighing and measuring, strategizing, trying to figure it out, obsessively thinking about, is there going to be enough of this? What I'm doing there, what my intellect is doing there, when I say what I'm doing there, my intellect is comparing everything that it thinks is coming to what's already happened, to past occurrences. And the thing about these past occurrences, they did not just start in your mother's womb. So the programming, I used to say this all the time, that we began to be programmed in our mother's womb. I just don't believe that anymore. I believe we show up with a memory bank full of memories of our life, one life, many lives, our ancestors, our relatives, our families, since creation, whenever that was, right? and if that's forever, then it's But so what's been happening there? Let's talk about let's look at like the story in the garden where they partook of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. I see that they partook of thinking for themselves, and it's in there. The way it reads in there is God said told them not to eat the apple, the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and that fruit would be thinking for yourself. And somewhere in there, it maybe disturbed them, or it bothered them, or the experience was not as they thought it should be. And so when these things happen and we experience things that we think are imperfect, in error, or evil, bad, or these things, what happens there is we resist the experience. And when we resist the experience, we stuff the experience. Now, the experience doesn't go away. The experience is energy. We're experiencing energy, one way or the other. And energy, we can say, is neutral. So when I experience something and I perceive it a certain way, and I don't like what I'm perceiving, I resist it. And when I resist it, I stuff it. And when I stuff it, it's stored. It's stored deep down in my mind. And and all these thoughts that are bubbling up about this or that, and how I should do things, and the way things should be or could be, and how this should be going and that should be going, and how this person should be acting and that person should be acting, how the government should be or should not be, how the world should be and should not be, how the news and media ought to be reporting and should not be reporting, how this and that, this and that, this and that. All these thoughts that are bubbling up, that are constantly bombarding us, chatter, the drama queen from the left side, are memories. And these memories are stored in our subconscious mind, and it's a memory bank. Now we show up with a memory bank full of sleeping memories that then are awakened by experiences see, a memory is a package deal. So when that energy is stored, when we resist an experience and that energy is stuffed, resisted, stuffed, stored, it stays stored. It does not go anywhere. It's like eating, you know, in your house you're eating, and the wrappers and the boxes that the stuff comes in, and the plastic, and then the leftovers that you don't want, and it's like just throwing that on the floor of your house, and over many lifetimes, and it just piles and piles and piles and piles and piles. It doesn't go anywhere. It may start to decompose, but then you've got rotting food in your house, and it doesn't go anywhere. It does not go anywhere. It doesn't just dissipate on its own. It doesn't just leave, you know. So we have to have a tool in a way to release and to let go. Now, since consciously, my intellect, since consciously I do not know what they are, nor do I have to know, nor do I need to know what they are. Because we're talking about many lifetimes, right? They're innumerable. They're mountainous. And the beauty of this tool that we've been given, that I've been using, called Ho'oponopono, and I've been using a bunch of different language so people can kind of hear it. Because when I first started learning of this ancient art and this way of living, this very easy way of living and being, I had so much resistance on the inside, limiting thoughts and beliefs, memories, and that I could not receive it. It seemed like too much work. But then I became more and more aware, and there's many ways now, I'm not saying this is the only way, but it seemed like and then I became more and more aware for the first time in creation of all these limiting thoughts and beliefs, programs, corrupt data, memories within my subconscious mind that I was hearing all the time. And what I was becoming aware of was some very negative, I would call negative thoughts and talk and judgments and beliefs and that were limiting an unlimited being, the unlimited being that I am. And the blame and you know, all this stuff happening to me, still in that victim mentality, halfway in, halfway out, and at the same time believing and seeing and learning about the mechanics of manifestation and the actual power that we have within. But because I only see in part, I do not know what I even need. The only thing I know I need right now is self-realization and liberation. I just want to know myself, because myself is all things. Now, we've seen oneness and how one we are with and as all things. So when I become free, everything becomes free. When I let go of a limiting thought and belief, a memory, a program, I've let it go for everyone. When it's lifted from me, it's lifted from all. When my cup is clean, the whole cup of the entire body is clean. So these experiences that have been stuffed and stored in the subconscious mind as memories, we show up with this data bank full of sleeping memories. And as things are attracted into our life, because in the memory it's a package deal, it contains the emotion and the feeling in the memory. It's all one package deal. That energy is right there, and it's all stuffed and stored deep down in our subconscious mind, we could say, deep down in our mind, in the lowest parts of our earth. So as these experiences come in, these occurrences happen, people, places, things in my life, they are not problems. I see them as problems at first, but they are actually opportunities, because I'm actually attracting them in. It's actually being unveiled. It's already there, because it's given me another opportunity to free myself, freeing all. Freeing all. And here is the kicker. As I learn to let go of the little things like getting angry in traffic, overeating, drinking alcohol. I'm not saying anything's wrong with these things. I'm just saying running to them as a kind of a band-aid to cover the things I'm actually feeling deep down. Because I don't know, I know there's something there, I don't want to deal with it subconsciously. All this is going on, and so you run to certain things. You name it, outside sources to try to fix the symptoms, the fruit of a very, very deep down root, which is a memory. So if we want to heal ourselves, if we want to experience true freedom, if we want everything perfect for us that's already in our lives to appear and unveil, and you say attract in, then we have to let go of those things that are standing in the way. And those things that are standing in the way are not us. They are memories. It's energies that have been stuffed and stored. And the reason I'm saying they tie us to the past, not allowing us to experience the present. And who we are is present. And we're always in the present. So what's keeping me from experiencing who I am, which is present? The present now, presence. The only thing that's there are all of these memories, and they're innumerable. And so, as we start to observe and we become very aware of these thoughts that are bubbling up, we learn to not engage the thoughts, not act on the thoughts, because they're memories. When I act on the memory, I've engaged the memory. The memory is resistance, remember, because I resisted an experience, and what I resist shall persist. So I'm engaging something that I resisted in the past, me, my family, my ancestors, and was stuffed and stored. And the reason it's appearing in my life as an experience, as a person, as an occurrence, as a situation, is to give me another opportunity to let it go. Transmuting the memory. And I don't have to worry about how to transmute it. I don't have to worry about what it is. I do not have to worry about how to get to it, when it happened, was it this or was it that? I don't need to know any of that. All I need to know is I don't have to engage this. I can observe this, and through this tool that I have now in my tool belt, as I observe it and I choose not to engage it, I simply say, thank you, but I'm not buying it. I say, thank you. Today I'm giving this to God. I'm trusting. I'm practicing trust. As it comes up, I'm letting go of this. I'm giving this directly to divinity. Thank you. I give this right to you, my divine creator. That part of me within me. This is all inside now. This is an inside job. And as the inside of the cup becomes clean, the outside becomes clean. So now there's nothing outside of me that has power over me. I'm not being programmed by outside sources. It's all within me, and it was already there, and I came with all of it. So as I go throughout the day, and I'm very aware, and awareness is key. So for the first time in creation, I'm aware of my inner child. I'm aware of my subconscious mind. I'm acknowledging my inner child, my subconscious mind. I'm acknowledging the memories. I can speak to them like a group of children. I don't have to be harsh, and I don't have to control, and I don't have to demand. I can simply let go. Thank you for giving me another opportunity to free you in me. I do not need you anymore. I do not need these thoughts and feelings and emotions. I appreciate you, but they are no longer serving me. So we need to part ways. And as I do this, just a simple thank you is enough. Thank you. As I do this, within that thank you is a package deal of me taking 100% responsibility for the memories, emotions, feelings, the limiting thoughts and beliefs, programs, data, all that we're calling it that I've stuffed and stored at some point in my lifetime, because we're one, my family, my ancestors, all the way up my lineage, all the way back to creation. Because I'm saying within that, I'm saying, I am sorry for the memories within me that are creating these problems. Please forgive me. Thank you for erasing, for cutting ties with, for releasing me, for transmuting this data. I love you. Just by saying thank you. So, a very practical example, and some very practical examples I'll give you. So I have been having issues with technology. It's a pattern. It's been happening over and over again. So one way that we can recognize and become aware of programs, memories that are replaying as problems is they show up in cycles. It's a pattern. Real easy to see other people's patterns. Sometimes it's tough to see our own, right? So awareness is key. So I've noticed that I've had problems over and over and over again with technology. I've also had problems over and over. Now, what I'm calling problems now, remember they're opportunities, with my truck and the computer system and it breaking down. This is the fourth time. So this time around, and I don't believe once we clear something, I don't believe it's really good to talk about it a whole lot, besides it just being something, I've been through something, but I'm going to use this because I believe it will help others to see how not to engage and how to release. Now, this time around, as my truck has been in the shop for over a month now, I took it into the dealership because I had a recall on it. Now, in the past, I've had to put a new engine in my truck. I got it a custom tune. I got everything deleted off of it, all this stuff that I thought was causing problems. And I bring it in for a recall, and for a simple recall, and they do like 5 different recalls while it's in there that I didn't know of. And one of the recalls required them to reset the computer. And when they reset the computer, it wiped my, whatever it's called, ECU or ECM or whatever it's called, that contained the custom tune, which was running my engine. And so I get my truck back and it's running really weird. So I take it back to the dealership. I have to go get a rental car. It's in the dealership for a week before they finally get to it and tell me, well, you had a custom tune. I take it to my diesel mechanic, and now it's been in there for over a month. And now my thoughts with this going on, I got a rental car, I want to call Dodge, and I want to argue, and I want to really give it to them for what they did, right? And they're going to pay for this, and they're going to pay for that, and I also want to, and now when you hear me, I'm not saying don't act. I'm not saying don't make a call. Don't do this, I'm not saying that. But on the inside, I'm going, should I do that? Should I do that? I'm not very clear. And so I know that is a memory. That is a program. And so on the inside, I really just want to call and give it to them. My truck's been in there too long. Y'all really need to speed it up. I've been without this for a month. I'm renting a car, and this and that, this and that, and this and that. Now, can I speed up how fast that part gets to them from the supplier? Can I speed up their process? Can I make them jump my truck ahead of all the other trucks that are in there? I'm seeing things imperfectly. I'm seeing things in part. I'm seeing error. I'm seeing evil. I'm seeing imperfection. But everything is perfect now because all things are true, right? Because everything is its source. So if I'm seeing anything outside of this perfect source, pure, then I've got a beam in my own eye, and that beam is a memory. So every time these thoughts come up and they're bombarding me about what I need to do, I let go. Thank you for another opportunity to free you and me. And now, today, I put up some things, go read them. Very easy, very easy. I'm letting go and giving this to God. I'm practicing trust. Thank you for another opportunity to practice trust. And now yesterday it got really tough because I'm starting to get really, this needs to move, and why? Everything's being provided. I have no idea the ripple effect and what's going on with all these other pieces and all these other parts, including my truck. There's some reconciliation that needed to happen between me and my truck. The truck is alive too. There was a whole lot of amends that needed to take place for me abusing my truck, for me not noticing my truck, for me not caring for my truck, for me offending my truck in thought, word, fact, or act. And the same goes on with our inner child that we have ignored. And because think about it, for the first time we are aware of what's going on in our subconscious mind. We are acknowledging our inner child subconscious mind. So that means for all this time, since creation, I have not been aware of this child. I'm sorry that I haven't noticed you. That's been crying out with signals, pain in the body, things that appear to be problems in our life, relationships not working, financial difficulties, you name it, technology not working, trucks breaking down, pain in my back, tearing up my shoulder all the time. Pay attention. This is going on deep down within. I'm trying to get your attention. Thousands, maybe millions of years and now. So I am so sorry that I have not noticed you. I'm so sorry that I've ignored you. And if I have offended you, if I've abused you and mistreated you and not cared for you, please forgive me. I love you. It's my inner child. Possibly the most important relationship in all creation. Between this and this. So as these things come up, and yesterday I got bombarded with all these thoughts, you need to call them. It's time. It's time to get your truck back. You need to call them, tell them they need to speed it up. I turned within. This time I didn't engage. I turned within and I said, you know what? This real deep inner conversation started to happen, which I don't even know how to pray. I don't even know what to say most of the time. So this time I turn within and I say, I just want to let this go. I don't want to engage it anymore because I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I want to trust you, this part of me that knows all, that is all. I want to trust you. And I just want to leave this in your hands and see what happens. Whatever happens, I'm okay. And it went away. And within 30 minutes, the mechanic calls me. Now, whether they were calling me or not, I do not know. I do not know. I don't know how it all went down. I don't need to know, and I don't even care anymore. I'm okay. Trusting in that part of me that's incomprehensible to this part of me. And as I let go in this way, they called me 30 minutes later, said my truck's ready. I didn't even care about the price of it. I was so happy to get my truck, Grace, back. And I go pick her up today. This is just one little example of, and it may seem minor, but listen to this. As we let go of these little things, wanting to argue, wanting to give my opinion, wanting to debate, wanting to figure it all out, as I learn to let go of these little opportunities to trust, that part of me that's incomprehensible to this, getting mad in traffic, getting mad at my children, getting mad and wanting to point somebody else's faults out. As I learn to let go of these little things that are representing the entire layer of that veil that's standing in between me and walking hand in hand with freedom. Letting go of those little things, what's happening is what seems to be these bigger things, these opportunities to let go start to come up. Now, here is something that I realized and was talking to Jason about yesterday, because he's going through some big stuff too. They're all big stuff. It's now. Think about the opportunity that we've been given. Think about it. You now are here to let go for all of creation, to free us and free all. Through not engaging the data, the history that's been repeating itself. The results, the effects of this is enormous. We're talking about peace on earth and goodwill towards all. No more war. By what? Not engaging, not talking about it, not trying to figure it out, not debating about it, not arguing about it, not thinking about it. We're talking about living in the flow. Peace. Peace. And I was talking to him about it. I was like, man, think about this. This opportunity with my truck, this opportunity that you're going through right now. Everything had to be aligned just perfectly. The stars, the earth, the longitude and latitude, the geographical location you're in, the right people you're with, the right everything, the right bank, the right association, the right dealership, the right truck, the right this, the right that. Everything had to be just right for this opportunity that I've viewed in the past as a problem, for this opportunity for me to let go. It's come back around, and there's no telling when this memory took place. It's ancient. I've been dealing with some other things. You know, this memory of death, man, it is an opportunity. Everything had to align, and I don't know when it might align again. But now it has, and I get this opportunity to not engage it and to trust and watch the universe, who's always for me, providing and has provided and will provide all things perfect in each and every perfect moment. Another one I've had issues with in a certain relationship for years. Not getting along, arguing and fighting about everything, not understanding why. Why can't we just have fun? Why can't we just get along? Why can't we just love? Why can't we just... And all the time, now it's a mirror. It was pointing. I was attracting these in as opportunities to let go of some very ancient memory. Once I stopped engaging the data, learned to let go. Every time the thought, now I've got a version of this person up here. I've got a version of the dealership up here. I've got a version of the auto mechanic shop up here. I've got a version of my truck up here. I've got a version of my customers up here. I've got a version of myself up here. As these versions come up and I want to engage those versions because I don't like them, I simply look at that version and I say, you know what? I'm sorry for whatever I've done to offend you. Please forgive me. I love you. And man, the miracles that are taking place, and I'm not lifting a finger, and I can't tell you how. The relationship's been mended. I feel like we're friends now. Things are working so smoothly. We don't argue. We don't fight. If something does come up, we apologize. It's just become simple. And on the outside, it doesn't look like it doesn't look like I have much. And I don't need much. Whatever comes to me, comes to me. And we're okay with it. We are okay with it. The more I want to try to figure out what house to go get, the more I want to let it go. Because I know whatever's going on is perfect now, and whatever needs to come is perfect too. So I don't have to figure it out. We're talking about rest. Now, I'm not saying don't act. I'm not saying when a bill comes in, don't pay it. Those types of things. What I'm saying is as that bill comes in and you notice a cycle with the IRS or with paying bills or with drinking alcohol, as the thought comes up, simply clean on the thought. Thank you for another opportunity. Thank you. I'm sorry for whatever memories replaying as these issues. I want to take 100% responsibility. And as the thoughts come up, I'm no longer talking about them as problems anymore. I'm no longer complaining about the government. I'm no longer complaining about the IRS. I'm no longer complaining about traffic. I'm no longer talking to other people about my so-called problems. I'm no longer calling the mechanic shop and telling them what they need to do. I'm no longer calling the dealership and telling them it's their fault. I'm taking on the sin of the world. I'm taking full responsibility. And I'm saying I'm okay with this divine creator part of me, because I know you'll clear it up when it needs to be cleared up at the right time. You'll transmute that data, because the truth transmutes all into the truth. So I hope that helped. I have got to go. Pearl's talking to us. I love you all. If you ever want to talk about any of this stuff, I'm open. Message me. And I know there's a lot going on with a lot of people, but we can let these things go and have peace in all things. We can have peace in every circumstance, every situation. We can be content in all things. We can, because it's who we are. Love you. Have a good one.